In the last video, we learned how to update a tuple using a little trick with lists. Today, we'll explore something very useful and clean in Python called tuple unpacking. It allows you to assign values from a tuple directly into variables, all in one simple line. Let's break it down together. Let's start with tuple packing. It means creating a tuple like this. Colors equal, then parentheses, then let's have some elements like red, then green, and then blue. Now if you want to assign these three values to three separate variables, here's where tuple unpacking comes in. So what you can do is you can write some short forms like R, G, B, then equal colors. Okay, now this first variable will have the first element from the tuple. The second variable will have the second element from the tuple, and the third variable will have the third element from the tuple. So to prove you that, if I write the print statement and pass R, then again print G, and again print B. Now if I run the code, you'll see it prints red, then green, and then blue. So Python goes left to right and it assigns red to R, green to G, and blue to B. You can name them anything. For example, you can name this D, but here you have to use D as well. If you run the code, you'll see the same output. But keep in mind though, the number of variables must match the number of items in the tuple. For example, here we have three elements in the tuple. If you take two variables, let me remove this line, and try to run the code, it will throw an error. So as the tuple has three elements, we have to take exactly three variables. For example, you can take another variable age. If you run that, it will also throw that error. You have to take the number of variables same to the tuple length. Let me remove this. Run the code. You can see empty output. Now what if the number of variables doesn't match? So what we can do? For example, we have a tuple called info, and there we have, let's say, Naruto, and age 25. Now the normal approach was we can write name equal info, we can write, then in square brackets we can write 0, then age equal info, and inside square brackets we can write 1. This is how we used to do in older programming styles. This will work. So if you write the print statement and pass name and the code, you can see it prints Naruto, and then if you write age and run the code, it prints 25. But if you want to do this with tuple unpacking, what you can do is you can write name, age equal info, and this will work as well. But let's say you add address, for example Germany. Now as you can see, it throws error. If you run the code, you'll see too many values to unpack. So let's learn how to handle that. For example, we have another element called ninja. So these two variables will take care of these first two elements. But what about the rest of the elements? So to take care of them, what we can do is we can write the comma and then the star sign to indicate all of the others. Then we can write here rest. So now if I write the print statement and pass name, then again print age, then if I write the print statement and pass rest and run the code, you'll see the first two variable gets first two elements, but other elements gets into the rest variable as a list. As you can see, it is a list. Now it doesn't matter how many variable you add. If you add more elements, it won't throw any error. It will just add them in that list. Now you can name this anything, for example others, and just write here others. But keep in mind that you have to put the asterisk or the star sign before that. Run the code. As you can see, the same output. Now let me comment this and take another example, and that is about tuple unpacking in loops. So for example, we have a variable called pairs, and there we have a list, and the first element holds a comma 1, then another tuple that holds b comma 2, then another tuple that holds c comma 3. Now let's write a loop. So I can write here for letter comma number in pairs and the colon sign, and we want to write the print statement and string formatting. And what we can do is we can write letter in curly braces, then give a hyphen and then number. Okay, now if I run the code, you'll see it prints a-1, then b-2 and c-3. So from this pairs list, in the first iteration, it gets this tuple as the first iteration value, and there we do unpacking and we take the letter and put that inside this variable, and we take that number and put that inside this variable, and we print that. After that, in the second iteration, we get this element in the loop index, and from there we take this letter and put that in this variable, and we take that number and put that in this variable, and same goes with the third one as well. Now this is often used when working with dictionaries. So yes, tuple unpacking is happening even here, but we haven't covered dictionaries yet. So after covering dictionaries, we're gonna see these examples. So yes, tuple unpacking is happening in dictionaries as well. Now if you can remember, we had a lecture 1 on swapping numbers. So in that video we used this tuple unpacking, if you can remember. For example, we have a variable called a which holds the value 5, then another variable b which holds the value 10, and we can swap them with the help of unpacking. So the typical way was taking a temporary variable, then assigning the value of a inside there, then inside a assign the value of b, and inside b we assign the value of temp. Then if you write the print statement, pass a, again write the print statement, pass b, and run the code, you'll see it prints 10 and 5. But you can make this shorter with unpacking. You can just write a comma b, then equal b comma a. Now if you run the code, you'll see the swapping works as expected. This is more cleaner and cooler. So that's all for this video. This is how tuple unpacking works. It is one of those features that makes Python really fun to work with.